Welcome today to our today's podcast, and we are so much happy to have one of our great women, a student who has gone through a Aslead program, 6 months, brought down the 10 modules. She went through the graduation, and she again took another bold step. She came for TOT to be trained as a trainer with with Aslead, to be certified to become our trainer. Sarah, it's nice to have you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maina.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us, before we jump to this discussion,
Yes.
tell us what motivated you to enroll for this certificate in servant leadership, Lead Like Jesus.
I love learning. And somebody spoke to me about servant leadership. And because I love mentoring people into leadership, I said, I don't think I have had the servant leadership. And I said, let me get in, because over and above all the other styles of leadership I know through management and studying management courses, I hadn't come across servant leadership. And I got myself to Aslead.
6 months.
6 months of pressure.
Of getting this knowledge.
Yes.
What was your major takeaway?
My major takeaway of the 6 months, I said 6 months of pressure because the pressure of studying a course that helps you to look inside yourself. I took out module 5 on the essence of integrity. I had talked about bits and pieces on integrity. I had read a few books on integrity, but that drove me away, because to lead like Jesus, unless your inside is changed, you can only look like Jesus outside. That can fade away when the pressures of this world come. But when inside yourself you have integrity, that topic for me stood out, because it helps you to change yourself inside and you're able to lead like Jesus. Yes.
I think one of the major things that is affecting leadership today, both in the church, outside the church, in the families, in the society, in the political arena, is about integrity.
You're right.
I want to say, and one of the saying that we say in our module, that you can lose wealth and you've lost nothing.
Yeah.
You can lose your health.
You've lost something.
You have lost something.
Yes.
But when you lost integrity,
you lose everything.
You lose everything.
You lose everything.
So it means that integrity is everything.
It is.
It is what makes a person to be a person.
Very true.
It is what it's all about life.
Very true.
Yes. By the way, who is Sarah?
Sarah Maina is a woman of God who loves God, and she loves people, and she loves mentoring people. She likes sitting in the pews in church because she loves leading when she's somewhere inside. But somehow God keeps helping her to lead others from the front. And Sarah has been through many corporate levels and served in different what we call jobs. But to me, it was not jobs. I call them places of influencing the world through the marketplace. And yes, I live in Kajiado County, but I am born and bred in Muranga County, and married in Nyandarua County. Wow. So I love God at a personal level, and I love serving God at the church level. Yes.
Where do you think you are? Because all these places you've talked about leadership, and now you're in the church, just to sit in the pews and just leading from behind. Where do you think your leadership journey began?
Oh, my leadership journey began at home, because I am born in a family of 8. We are 8 siblings, and I happen to be the last one. And my parents got me in almost getting into their 50s. So I have always led from behind, maybe being a last born. But my journey began there, where I would be given house chores to do, and I would love excellence, because my mother loves excellence. And across my schooling period, as I joined high school, I was at Limuru Girls High School. I found myself taking leadership roles in the Christian Union.
So, Sarah, let's talk about the personal integrity.
Yes.
Because I know your project that you did was on integrity. So, and there are three dimensions of integrity.
Sure.
One is personal integrity, organizational integrity, and then vocational integrity.
Sure.
But let's first of all begin with the personal integrity. According to you, what is the meaning of personal integrity? How would you define it? How would you explain it?
I once read a book that said integrity is who you are when no one is looking. And when no one is looking could be when you're away from the public eye, and that defines your personal life. And when you're away from the public eye, that is in your closet. If you tell people a lot of things, and that's not who you are, when you go down and you're alone, you told a lie. So for me, personal integrity is beyond what people know Sarah is. Who really is Sarah? And Jesus really defined that. And the Bible reminds us that he did not consider equality with God as something to be grasped. And even as he was applying humility, Jesus knew, I am God. You may think I am the son of the carpenter, but I know I am God. And that understanding helps somebody to know, what do I need to live out, even in the public eye? So even me as Sarah, when I know that Christ has called me and transformed me, for me is to understand that I am a representative of God. I'm the son of God. God is working within me. I need to represent him out in the public at a personal level. So my inside and my outside must match all the time, whether it's day or night. And for me, that is what, when I learned how Jesus knew who he was, even in the working out of the works that he would do in the ministry, he knew there is something within me that I have to bring out, and that is God and the glory of God within me. So for me, that stands out.
You mentioned something very, very important.
Yes.
Integrity is who you are when
no one is looking.
No one is looking you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the one who is looking at you,
yes,
it could be the one who doesn't know you.
Very true.
Or maybe you are in a situation where nobody knows you.
True.
Or maybe you are away from the people who know you. How would you behave in that situation? Because these people, they do not know you. They can't report to you.
Very true.
So that is what, that's when the personal integrity services. So how can one align their personal integrity with their values and their beliefs? How can you align your action with your personal integrity and your belief?
Very true. For me, I believe integrity has to do with principles. When you're principled within yourself, what happens is whatever else happens outside you shouldn't affect what is happening within you, because you're already principled, you're already grounded. This is me. This reminds me a time I was in a far land, and people told me, Sarah, I think one thing we're happy about you is how you say no to taking wine. And for me, I said, this is far, people don't know me, but my principles within, I know alcohol and me is X. I can't do it. So it didn't matter whether they know people they can call back home and say, hey, Sarah is taking some little wine. For me, it is, what do I stand for? What is this that grounds me? And I believe in essence, this is the faith that we confess. Having that boldness within you that this is what I believe, this is what I stand for, and whatever pressure is happening outside me, I'm not taking it. For me, I think that's what I take as personal integrity. Yeah.
I think that's where many people felt, because they only want to show them I'm the good guy when people are watching at me.
Very true.
Or maybe when I'm around people who know me.
Very true.
But when nobody knows me,
Yeah.
when nobody understands me, or maybe I'm in a new situation or environment,
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want to do. I can do the things that I cannot do when my significant people or my close friends are not watching me. That's hypocrisy. Don't you think so?
It is hypocrisy. And I think also is you choose. You want to please men or you want to please God. Because if I want to please men, I will dance to their tune.
Yes.
But there is God who has spelled out life and has spelled out integrity and allowed his begotten son to come and live it out. So for me, I say it doesn't matter what people may want. I'd rather be mushamba, as they call it. But to God, I do it right.
Have you ever been called mushamba because you stood on your ground?
Yes, old school. I remember one place at a workplace we used to say, Sarah ni mshamba sana. She can't allow coins to go under the table. But I'll prefer that. And I remember one time somebody said, you will die poor. And I said, I can't. I believe in my sweat because I understand God can multiply my little to become much. So it happens because it's the common fashion not to compromise. To compromise, it's the common fashion. But for me, I'd rather be mshamba, but I'm happier.
Mshamba.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's where we have failed. Because at the end of the day, you say that nobody's watching me. Nobody actually will know I did this.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things I've realized is that always the truth. You cannot cover the truth.
You cannot.
Either can you cover sin.
You cannot.
At one point they will manifest.
True.
So I think upholding integrity is one of the key things that every leader should embrace. And so how can Sarah herself demonstrate integrity daily?
I think for me it's living the talk. Living it out, acting it out, and speaking it out. And integrity that pleases God cannot be integrity if I'm not daily allowing the word of God to help me understand what integrity is. When I read the book of Job, a man of integrity, and understand that he could allow himself to lose everything because he knew that by not compromising, the same God who gave him the wealth and the fame and the name was able to redo that again. And even if he didn't, I would say like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, even if our God will not save me from the fire, so be it. I'd rather die and not compromise. So living it and practicing it. And I think contentment, because I think contentment is what is taking away lack of integrity from many people. Being content and just believing that God will take you to the next level, whether financially, socially, and in any other way, is what can help people to live the talk and just be content. Yes.
Can you recall a moment when you compromised your integrity? Or maybe your integrity was compromised? And how did you feel when you realized that, man, I've compromised my integrity? How did you feel?
I remember one time where people they were selling something. And I was in charge. And they said, because this is crap, we always treat ourselves to some of the monies. And we don't give in everything. I told them, not under my watch. But then I looked at them the way they were so desperate. I just gave them 500 bob. I told them, okay, because of the way you have helped out, take the 500 bob. But later I felt I shouldn't have even given them the 500 bob. Yes, I was happier that they didn't take anything much as they used to. But I really didn't feel nice about it. Yes, I didn't feel nice. I should have just told them no and no. What would they do to me anyway? Yeah, I didn't feel nice. So that's what happens so it's like testing a bit of compromise. I wondered, what if it was 10,000? Maybe I would have felt so bad. But I still felt so bad with the 500 shillings. And I said, they would have just helped anyway. Why should they take away money that is not theirs? Yes.
You know, one of the things I've realized in life, when we compromise, or maybe when we take a shortcut, to satisfy or maybe satisfy a situation and immediate need. Sometimes there is always consequence. You feel you don't get peace.
It holds you.
Yeah, it holds us. And sometimes when we compromise our integrity, it is like it is like we feel no. It is like it hurts. There is pain when you think about it. And so, what are some of the ways that could lead one to compromise their integrity?
Greed.
And greed.
Greed can really make you compromise your integrity because you feel you want to have more. And the more it's outside, and your inside is crying and saying, no, don't do this. Don't do this.
And especially the greed for power. Do you think how we people are so greedy to be so and so, to be a big man,
Very true.
to have those titles, positions. So
because of pride also, because people think you're lesser when you take a lower position, and you're better when you take a higher position. So that the pride makes people to compromise their integrity. Yes.
And then we have seen how actually when we compromise integrity, how most people they are falling.
Terribly.
You know, as it says that you lose integrity, you've lost everything.
Yeah.
And then we have seen so many people lose their integrity, lose their position of power, just because they wanted to satisfy a need that would have waited. So, how can you handle a situation when personal integrity conflicts with your belief or with your interest?
I think first is to explain who you are. I like where many occasions people say, she's born again. Already that disclaimer takes away a lot of temptations. But I think once you say who you are, you state who you are up front, people are able to know what you cannot do. Regardless, sometimes you may find yourselves, you have sunk in holes that you never wanted to. Get yourself out, explain and say, I'm sorry, I can't go beyond here. I cannot do this. I cannot take this. And I think that can help many people get out of places of compromise because you have already explained, I can't go this route. And even be able to say like Zacchaeus, I'm willing to give back whatever I had taken that belonged to people, because it helps you start off on a clean sheet, and that helps your life because you walk away with your clean conscience. Yes.
Is it possible to uphold your personal integrity in, for example, in our society where corruption is the order of the day? How is it possible, and how can it be possible if one would say that I'm going to live a life, I'm going to guard my personal integrity?
I think, yes, Daktari, the chains of corruption hold people so firmly because you think, if I don't get this now, I will never get it. I think for me, I believe God can give me life and is giving me life. So I say, if I don't get it today, I can get it tomorrow. In my mother tongue in Kikuyu, they always say, they give a story of a monkey that could not jump as high on a tall banana tree. And every time he could reach there, he's like, I'm not able to get, actually it's a rabbit. I'm not able to get those bananas. And every time it could get there, the rabbit would say, they are not even ripe. On a timeru. And that's a good thing. And when you want to overcome and say, it's not even good enough. It's not ripe enough. Let me go past. But it takes a lot of discipline because a lot of people want to get rich fast, quick. And that's where, and especially financial integrity, that's where most people fall prey because they want to get it now. The way to overcome it is to say, if I can't get it the right way, let it stay. I will get it another time. The patience within, the contentment within. And must you get it that way? Yes, if I can't get it through power, I can get it through farming. So let me go and farm. Yes.
There is a person, what advice would you give to a person who is really struggling? He or she works in that office and she's put or is put in a position where, you know, an integrity must be compromised. And this person is a Christian or is a believer, or maybe is a person who feels that I want to live this personal integrity. How would you advise that person just to stand in the midst of all that pressure, being told, oh, I need this thing today, or maybe I need this thing yesterday. It would have been done, and then they are kind of in that limbo. I do not know what to do, and they are wondering, what am I going to do? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to annoy my boss? How are they going to treat me? How can you help such a person?
I think that's a good question, Dr. This reminds me of the life of Saul and David. I mean, David is being pursued by Saul, and he knows he has the same anointing from the horn of Samuel as Saul was. And he just chose to leave. A lot of people would want to continue on in some places in the name of job, in the name of job security, in the name of fame, in the name of what people would say, yet you're hurting inside. Because, I mean, what happens at the end of that job when you have to resign or retire? You're the one who will walk away with the guilt. I'd rather walk away without it and leave it. And before you do that, I can attest to this in the workplaces, in the marketplace. A lot of people think doing wrong is justified. What about just sitting down with that person and say, I'd like us to discuss something. The way we are doing ABCD is not right. And I don't think I want to be party. And if you're a person of excellence, they choose between losing you or losing what they are holding on to. And if they want to lose you, so be it. But if they know they cannot do that which they want to do through you, they'd rather release you. So for me, I say is choose between your life with God or the job.